So today we're going to be doing a practice midpoint assessment. So we're going to be going through the questions, reading the story, and then talking about how to answer the questions. The first thing you always want to do when you're going to be doing a reading and you know you'll have questions to answer is you want to take a look at the questions so you know what to think about and look for while you're reading. So let's look at these questions. Number 1, what information is revealed in the exposition of this story? Number 2, what is the inciting incident that sets the plot in motion? And let's remember now, the inciting incident is when we learn about the conflict. So what's the issue or the problem that we are introduced to that causes the conflict? And the conflict is what's going to set the entire story in motion. Number 3, which is part of the rising action in this story? Number 4, which part of the story is the climax? The climax is the most exciting or the turning point part of the story. Number 5, which sentence best summarizes the resolution of the story? Number 6, how is the conflict resolved at the end of the story? And number 7, which is not part of the falling action in this story? So remember, this question says which is not part of the falling action. So we got to look for something that does not happen in the falling action. All right, so let's take a look at the reading for today. Today we'll be reading The Island, and then we'll be going back and answering the questions. The Island. One day while Thomas was up in one of the trees plucking the dates, he happened to look out to the ocean. Was that a ship? A ship so close to shore? For months they'd kept their eyes peeled on the horizon, hoping to see a ship, setting up signal fires and burning anything that would generate smoke. Over time, when it was clear their signals weren't going to be seen, they'd given up. This time, however, the ship was so close it would definitely see the smoke, even the fire. Thomas shimmied back down the tree and ran to the beach. He gathered driftwood and palm leaves into a huge pile and sprinted back to the camp. "Matches! Fire!" he gasped, running into the camp. "There's a ship! Close!" His mother tossed him a precious pack of matches, and he was off with the adults trailing behind. He reached his bonfire pile in record time and set to work. He lit the first match. Whoosh! A breeze from the ocean extinguished it in an instant. "Gather round him! Block the wind!" commanded Thomas's dad. 12 people circled Thomas as he tried to light the second match. Achoo! Mr. Simmons, who was notoriously allergic to palm fronds, sneezed loudly, extinguishing the match. "Back away!" yelled Thomas. He huddled close to the pile of wood and leaves. Leaning close to the wood, he lit the third match. He held it to the leaves, and after a second, he heard the crackle of the fire beginning to start. The other leaves caught fire, and slowly the fire spread to the wood. Everyone fanned the fire, encouraging the smoke to go straight up. Thomas kept his eyes on the boat. Was it? Did it? Yes! Slowly the ship turned and headed toward their island. The castaways watched as a small boat was lowered over the side and launched. In a few minutes, they would be on their way home. All right, so now we are going to stop and take a look at the questions and begin answering them.